The cache is yes. So the CPU is fast, right? No, stay on the line. The CPU is fast as it does operations as they receive them from the user or devices across the network or in the system, right? So the user, to the user, the operation is complete, but the operation or the request, whether it's a read or write, save this file, bring this file, that is written to the cache, right? So the CPU still continues working, but the disk, when it's done a read and a write at the lower level, it will be communicating with the cache, right? So it's temporary. So capacity, disk capacity, as it is written here, is that disk capacity is size, right? Size. So measured in gigabytes, megabytes, right? Gigabytes or megabytes. Okay, so that's for the slower disk, the hard drive, HDD. So disk capacity, in summary, disk capacity is the size of the disk, right? Or the disk capacity is the size of the disk in gigabytes, megabytes, terabytes, etc. Cache is temporary storage, as the CPU, because the CPU is faster than the disk. So instead of writing and waiting for the disk and making the system slower, it will write to cache, which is closest to the CPU, right? Okay. So let's just, what are the factors? What are the factors that talk to disk performance in a hard drive, right? Rotation speed. You see, remember I said the spindle using the motor spins the disk. You know, we used to go to clubs in the when we were in our 20s, 25 years ago, and you say the DJ is spinning tracks. Do you remember that saying? Who remembers that? Anyone? Spinning as the tracks rotate, right? So the
Me.
you. Hola, 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 hola. So yeah, you are my age now. So rotation speed, ne? So the speed of the rotation speed, so that influences the throughput, right? Of the throughput is the uh, of the input output. How long does it take, or how much do you get out in terms of input and operations? You talk about 6 speed. 6 speed is then, if you're using vinyls as an example, when you put your head, your read write head, right? When it's moving around in the on top of the platter, right? 6 speed to get from where it was. Remember, it stays where it was, and then you are requesting a data or a packet on the same disk, but then the time that it takes to move from where it was to where it needs to be, to move from point A to point B, to move from point A to point B, the speed with which it does that, that influences the performance of the disk. Because if it moves faster, the 6 speed is higher. That means that the performance gets higher because it's quicker. Now, single platter capacity, these things, one capacity of the platter. This one is not really, that's why they call it the indirect factor, right? Single capacity of the platter. Remember, capacity means um, the size in megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes, petabytes, etc. The speed of the port, right? Remember, the port is where you plug in your interface modules, right? It could be SCSI, it could be, remember I made an example of serial port and a parallel port, if you remember. Who can remind us? The serial port, we spoke about this. Serial and parallel, quickly. Serial, you see, I told you, time you read right here, your actuator is here, right? But it needs to go to a certain track. You want to play a different song. The time it needs to move from here, point A to point B, right? Point A, point B. That affects performance, right? Remember what I said earlier about latency. Latency is how late it is. So all the time you need to lower latency. That's the charge of performance. Lower latency. Yeah? Let's make an example. If it takes 5 minutes to get there, that's still latency. The latency is 5 minutes. But if it takes you 3 minutes, that's lower latency, that's performance. You get there quicker. This is what we've done. Transfer rate, internal transfer rates, right? Excuse me. Disk and port, giving it to the user, right? Internal transfer rate. Ne? The interface module, whether it's SCSI, right? Whether it's SAS, etc. Yes, go ahead.
So those two diagrams in the previous slide, do they represent serial and parallel interfaces?
Not really. They represent all of them. I was just making an example of that, of those interfaces, a parallel and serial, because those are the ones I've spoken about. You have others as well. Even your NVMe, remember, it's an interface using PCIe. So there's many interfaces.
Yes, the one on the left has two extra probably.
No, this is just this is the same one. So it's where it was to where it needs to be. Where it was. So it's a representation of where the arm was. So this time is the time it takes to where it is there, and then it wants to get to track where the data is. That's the seek time for it to move. So it's the arm from where it was in this location. Now it's here. Talk about the arm. Let's talk about how long it took to get to this. Is where it takes the where it how long it takes to find the data block that is looking for. Do you understand? It's just representing here transfer rate. Finds what it was looking for. It gives it to the interface module. The interface module on the other side, it to the requester of the information. Are we clear? So here we spoke about IOPS, right? input output, that's how you measure the performance of a disk. Input output operations per second, right? That's where we measure performance of the disk. Remember I said that Huawei at the moment, I think it was 3 years ago, which was the industry stand where they reached 11 million input output operations per second. It's 7 million. It should be more now. It should be sitting at 21 million. See, that's a lot of input output operations on that disk. Like it's affected by the IOPS is affected, or what constitute it, the seek time, rotational latency, and data transmission. All those three play a role into the speed or the performance of the disk. And we talk about things like bandwidth, like transmission bandwidth, right? Bandwidth is how much data can you transmit in a defined period of time. So they're using example. So if it takes 10 seconds to write 10,000 files, 10,000 files each at 1 kilobyte, we know that the answer would be 1 megabyte per second, right? That's the transmission bandwidth, right? 1 megabyte per second, right? So if your file is 10 megabits, right? Every second you'll be transmitting 1 megabyte per second. 1 megabyte per second. To understand this example, so bandwidth is measured in, so sometimes your internet speed, let's look at it that way, your internet speed says it can do 20 megabytes per second, right? 20 megabytes per second. So if you are transferring 100 megabytes per second, if your bandwidth capacity is 20 megabytes, how long will it be? I'm just stressing bandwidth here. So if it's your speed, right? Your speed of your bandwidth transmission speed is 20. Listen and then come in. If the speed of this transmission, the transmission bandwidth, is 20 megabytes per second, how long will it take you to transfer 100 megabytes? If the speed if the bandwidth is 20 megabytes per second, how long will it take you to transmit 200 megabytes? Try.
5 seconds.
Huh? 5 seconds. Thank you so much. Do we all get that? Thank you, Sloan. Do we get that? Of what he said? If your bandwidth transmission speed is 20 megabytes per second and you want to transfer a file of 100 megabytes, because per second you can only transfer 20. The reason why he's saying 5, it's 20 per second, right? 20 per second, that's 2. 60 per second, that's 3. 80 second, 5. So it's 5 seconds. Okay? Let's move along. Yes, we have. Who can explain this slide? We're going to move quickly because we've done it before. Just the diagram. Parallel transmission and serial transmission. Go. This is just to spark our minds based on what we've done already. Yeah? Transmission?
So
Yes, sir.
parallel transmission sends data in multiple bits simultaneously,
Yep.
and then serial transmission sends data one bit at a time.
That is it. Excellent. Excellent. Very much. Thank you very much. I'm not going to stay there. Okay, remember when we talk about ports, it's where you're going to be. The port is used to connect your interfaces, right? So it's for the data to be transmitted to the user, right? It's for the data to be transferred to the user. So you have physical ports, right? So these are the, you know, ATA, that's an one at work. For SATA, serial attached, your ITE ports, your SCSI port, the serial right? Channel ports, right? SCSI is also a device and interface module that is used for transmitting. You will talk about later of the fiber channel port could be your where the data is transmitted using fiber optic or fiber or fabric channel, right, over the internet. What's important is over long distances. SCSI is attached to the machine, but also you have technologies like iSCSI, where with iSCSI you can transmit data over a SCSI cable external to the machine. But then the difference between fiber optic and SCSI is that SCSI is over a limited distance, a limited range from the transmitter to the receiver, right? Fiber optic can be longer, as you can tell that you can transmit from your branch here in Gqeberha to your branch in Johannesburg. That's the difference there. So those are your, right. This is just an explanation of these. Right? Integrated device electronics. Integrated, which means within. Right? The port is within. Right? It's a parallel port. ATA, advanced technology attachment. Right? These are the belong to the IDE family. Right? It belongs to the IDE family. So, and it uses, there it is. So at the back of your, at the storage device, for example, or at the back of your hard drive, this hard drive will be at port located on your motherboard, but because the hard drive can take SATA using this IDE technologies. That is which device it is, or sorry, which interface module it can use, it is using. So can you see, there we go. There's your SATA port, right? So that's your ATA still, but it's a serial ATA instead of using one, right? Let's ignore that. SATA port, that port needs to plug in to the storage device, whether it's a hard drive, but it must have a corresponding port. As you saw when we were talking about the expansion port module, you have a variety of ports that you can use. Remember, we had the fiber channel port, the optic port, the electrical port. You have the SCSI port. Sometimes you have a variety of ports, NVMe ports when we start going to SSD, all of those work, but then everything will work according to your needs at that moment. Various versions of SATA, right? The serial ATA, now sitting at version 3, right? But version 3 can work with these. Version 1, version 2 are not supported. Now, you can transfer, right? Just talk about transfer rates. We spoke about the transmission bandwidth. With SATA at this stage, or it can change soon, 6 gigabits per second, while it was 3 gigabits before. So advantage now in terms of performance, right? So it's self-explanatory. SCSI, we've been talking about SCSI for a while now, right? So SCSI, small computer system interface. It's an interface. You see now, you don't have just one. You have many interfaces. So depending on what you choose, your ports, right? Your ports, even in your expansion module, even at the back of your enclosures, your disk enclosure, your controller enclosure, you will decide how you want to transmit your pins there. Female, you can easily plug in the similarly back there. I hope I wish you can just plug it in. So that this is wired the back, that data will flow out to the to your storage device or to your storage media manner. So in this case, your hard drive. So that's your SCSI, very important, high performance, widely used. Okay, SAS again. When you see the difference, it's serial attached. It's SCSI, but it's serial attached, right? It's serial attached, as you know what serial is. We spoke about it, right? The rates, they're not as great as the other ones, but they do work, yeah. And as well, for high reliability, high performance, and powerful scalability. However, I want to ask a question on serial attached SCSI. Full duplex. What do I mean? What do I mean when I say full duplex?